Once upon a time, two girls had high hopes and dreams. They were convinced that when they grew up, they would not take on a mother-like role and instead express themselves for who they truly were. Since they considered girls to be depreciated, they wished to help others rise up and speak on behalf of them. Throughout this book, the Gutsy Girls will take you through two different places around the world that portray Elaine Showalter's theory, female stereotypes, and the idea of men's power over women. First, the Gutsy Girls will be taking you to Chicago's South Side, sometime between World War II and the present. Ruth, a character that is portrayed in the feminine stage of Elaine Showalter's theory, is the caretaker of the younger small apartment. Every day, Ruth makes breakfast, cleans the house, supports her husband, and keeps her own desires to herself. She lives life within a routine and is constantly worn out from all the hard work she does. As wife to Walter Lee and mother to her son Travis, life is an eventful roller coaster. Constantly, Ruth must make sure they're on top of their tasks. Ruth explains, "Come on now, boy, it's 7:30. Walter Lee, it's after 7:30. Let me see you do some walking up there, man." The Gutsy Girls take the moment to step in and help Ruth out. They see that she is the main caretaker of the household and that both Walter Lee and Travis are very much dependent on her, but it's time they start to take some ownership on their own behalf too. Ruth gives the Gutsy Girls' suggestion a shot and lets both Walter Lee and Travis wake up on their own initiative. By doing so, they are very late and angry at her, but have learned their lesson. Next, since the Gutsy Girls have helped Ruth out, they travel to Kim's Convenience, located in Toronto. Working at Kim's Convenience, Janet, a character that is portrayed in the female stage, has a wish to express herself through the use of photography. Janet's father does not find photography an acceptable lifestyle to take on, as working in their family convenience store would be a much better fit. Janet explains, "For my whole life I've worked at least 4 hours a day covering for you guys, and I've never complained about getting paid. I've been here for you my whole life, Appa." Here, Janet protests against her father's wishes to take after the convenience store, which was a great dream of his. Instead, Janet's dream is to pursue photography, but Appa fails to recognize this, since he only has his own wishes in mind. The Gutsies can see an argument unfolding, so they decide to step in. With Janet's wishes in mind, they explain to Appa that he needs to recognize what his own daughter wants. If he forces the convenience store onto her, it will only make him happy and Janet miserable. The Gutsies bring to light what Appa fails to recognize. Appa apologizes to his daughter for almost forcing a life onto her that only he wanted. He says to her that if photography is what she wants to pursue in life, she should go for it by all means. The Gutsies yet again have helped young women get the justice they deserve. Now they head back to Southside Chicago to see one of the members of the Younger family, Benitha. Benitha is the most modern member of the Younger family. She makes use of her freedom by exploring different parts of herself, discovering she wants to pursue a job as a doctor. Benitha portrays a female stereotype which can be contradicted as she wants to become a black female doctor. Benitha explains to her family, "But first I'm going to be a doctor, and George for one still thinks that's pretty funny. I couldn't be bothered with that. I am going to be a doctor and everybody here better understand that." It is apparent that Benitha's family does not like the idea of becoming a doctor. Back in time, male doctors dominated this particular job. This will be harder for Benitha to pursue her dream in life. The Gutsies take this moment to step in. This news may be hard for Benitha's family to bear, as this dream of hers is hard to achieve, but she challenges the gender roles to become a black female doctor, which was considered rare at the time. Because of what the Gutsies say, it changes her family's perspective on the idea of her job as a doctor. They are happy that she refuses to accept the traditional role of a woman, which is a position Ruth and Lena Younger partaken. They are very proud of her. Next, the Gutsy Girls travel back to Kim's Convenience to explore another female stereotype that is brought to surface. Appa stereotypes his daughter Janet, mentioning the fact that she is not married yet. Appa explains, "Janet, you is 30 years old now and still single. You have to understand now is desperation time for you. Sudden death, overtime, penalty kick, shootout. Expiration date is over. Through the use of Appa's soccer terminology, he goes on to criticize his daughter. He states that Janet is 30 years old and it is typical at this point in your life to have a partner. As well, Appa proceeds to say that Janet is young and beautiful now, but if she does not find someone, she will never get married. Appa conveys the stereotype that marriage is based off a woman's beauty. This is not true, as everyone is beautiful in their own unique way. Just because a woman is not as pretty as she used to be does not mean that her opportunity to find love is over. At this moment, the Gutsy Girls proceed to step in between father and daughter. They explain how everyone defines beauty in different ways, and what one may find is unattractive is attractive to another. This gives Appa something to think about, and he comes to the conclusion that beauty is not a contestant when it comes to marriage, and that a man will truly accept you for who you are, flaws and all. Next, the Gutsy twins travel back in time to Southside Chicago to visit the Younger family to examine the power men have over women. Walter Lee, a member of the Younger family, is passionate and ambitious and is preoccupied with a business idea that he thinks will solve other families' problems. Walter explains, "Mama will listen to you. You know she'd listen to you more than she'd do me and Benny. She'd think more of you. All you have to do is just sit down with her when you're drinking your coffee one morning and talking about things like you do." This displays Walter's power over his wife as he attempts to sweet-talk Ruth into bringing up his business idea to his mother. He realizes that he can use Ruth to his advantage as he knows that she has a close relationship with his mother. As well, Walter touches upon a message that a female should always back the male up as if it is her duty. At this point, the Gutsy twins enter and let Ruth know that she doesn't have to agree to anything she doesn't want to. As well, she should not feel intimidated to say yes, as she is her own person and Walter does not control her. Ultimately, the Gutsy twins give Ruth the courage she needs to stand up for herself and decide what she would like to do. The Gutsy Girls' adventures come to a close as they make their last stop at Kim's Convenience regarding Appa's behavior toward Janet. In the Kim household, Appa directly comments toward Janet that she is throwing away a perfectly good reputation of the convenience store to become a photographer. Appa explains, "What is my story? What is story of me, Mr. Kim? My whole life is this store. Everybody know this store. They know me." Appa portrays his dominance over Janet as he is very self-centered and arrogant in his response. Appa explains how only he gave up his life to invest in the store, such as uprooting his home from South Korea to Canada and working hard labor to make the store a legacy in his name. The Gutsy Girls make an appearance by adding in that Appa fails to recognize what others such as Jung, Janet, and Uma gave up. Not only did Appa, but every other family member sacrifice their life to fulfill Appa's dream to start a better life in Canada. Appa is so self-centered on what he contributed that he neglects his family members. The Gutsy Girls bring to light what Appa failed to recognize. He promises to Janet that he will always remember the sacrifices each family member made for him and the time and effort each one put into making Kim's Convenience successful. Appa continues to say that not only him but his whole family shall be remembered through the thought of the store. What only started off as a small thought to travel to 2 different places around the world has turned into a huge success. The Gutsy Girls have helped the Kim and Younger family set aside their differences and recognize women as equal and for who they truly are. The Gutsy Girls bring their story to a close. They've had so much fun on the topic of feminism that next time they are going to travel to 2 completely different places to view the world through a Marxist lens, helping those feeling injustice, justice. That's all we have time for now. Join us in our next upcoming adventure in store soon.
Created using Powtoon.